What's good, people? This is Deme D. This is another episode, another collaboration with HLM Media. Salute to the guy, Terrell Blair, where we bringing you the artists and creators on the come up, on the rise. And I'm here with the lovely guest, Dakari Eli R&B sensation.
What's up?
I'm excited because I'm a hip hop junkie. I'm a hip hop guy, but as of late, I've been expanding. Even though I always listen to R&B, but I've been expanding to interviewing and sitting down with R&B artists, and I'm gonna sit down with other artists as well. But thank you for your time. Thank you for
inviting me.
No doubt. Definitely. I like what you're doing out here.
I appreciate that.
But before we get into all of that, you just recently dropped the project last year, Cuffing Season.
I did.
We're gonna get into that, but I want you, just talk to the people real quick. I like to start out with where you're from. I like to get that information from all artists. We come from everywhere, and we're all in the tri-state, or outside the tri-state. So just talk to them. Where you from.
I was born in Cali, but raised primarily here in New York. I am from upstate New York, the burbs, the sticks.
Which part?
Really?
Yeah.
It's Poughkeepsie. The last stop on the metro. But yeah, so from Poughkeepsie, but back and forth to the city constant, you know what I mean? It's just part of the culture, So yeah, that's where I'm from.
Well, what I never really get to ask people, what's the scene like out there? Because I know you got to come to New York City, but what's the scene for aspiring artists or just artistry period out there?
There's little open mics and stuff. There's little pockets of hip hop, you know what I mean? You gotta know people though, you know what I mean?
It's not like
it's not like here where it's you could just it's not open like that. So
is there a lot of people on the ground? You could pretty much tell out there who's serious.
You could tell who's serious.
Okay.
You could tell, yeah.
Okay, I asked that because I interviewed an artist from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. He kind of made the same sentiment as far as out there. You could tell you could edge yourself. In New York City, it's almost impossible to edge yourself out.
It's everywhere. Everywhere you turn, and everybody's on the grind. I feel like where I'm from, it's it's not the same. We come down here to do what we need to do.
You got to. This is where almost everyone comes to. Is one of the places
Absolutely.
Meccas of the city. But
absolutely.
Another question I love to ask, because now I've been interviewing R&B acts, I love to ask, so when did you discover your voice? When did you find out that you can sing?
I actually just found a picture of myself on stage at 5 years old singing The Greatest Love of All by Whitney Houston, you know what I mean? That's when I started. That's when I said, I think I like this. I like being on stage. I like singing. I like expressing myself. And it became my language. And I just started studying different artists Whitney, and then Patti LaBelle, and then, my father listened to soul and stuff like that from the 70s, so I grew up on that. So it just kind of all fused into who I am, Okay.
I actually did want to get into that, but since you brought it up, I'm going to piggyback off that. But before we do that, when you discovered it, was it singing something on the radio? Was it maybe your favorite song you just started singing?
It was literally, my dad used to play a lot of music from the 70s, and he was very much into he loved Marvin Gaye, he loved the Al Greens, he loved the Otis Redding. Otis was my favorite, and then I started listening to a lot of, Patti was the first one, Whitney, then Patti. They were the ones that I wanted to emulate. And that's when I was like, oh, I could hit that note like Patti. I was like, oh, let me work this out. And I was probably about 8 years old. And then it kind of just grew. And then I found people like Mary as I got older.
Who were the people you say you were listening to more modern day, I guess?
It was, you got Mary, you got Lauren, you got Faith, you got Erykah Badu, you got, Jill Scott. It just kept growing,
Yeah, because I don't want to say it like that, but R&B artistry was just a little different at that point. There's still talent, but I think the type of music that comes out from R&B is just a different, some mesh of hip hop and pop.
There's not a lot of pure R&B anymore, you know what I mean? And I think it's because there's a lot of pressure in the industry to conform because hip hop has taken over. It really has. So you want it to correlate to what's going on, and you also, I love hip hop, so you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's kind of that's also fused in there. So, but you definitely still want to, you know, take bits and pieces. But again, I'm a pure hip R&B girl.
I can
So
tell by your music, I love it. They definitely gonna tap in after this. They're gonna be, I wouldn't say surprised, but I'll say pleased.
Aw,
So you mentioned your dad though. Was he just a fan, or was he a musician, or was a musician?
my dad could sing, and he sang when he was like in his teens and his 20s, but he just stopped after that. But he used to sing around the house all the time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He never pursued it. No.
Okay.
He did other things on stage.
Well, I'm guessing that once they discovered or saw that you could sing, it was definitely something that they supported. And
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I had a teacher that took me under her wing right from jump. Like right from jump when I was in first grade, and she put me on, and I did like some kind of like solo and duet with another girl, and every concert thereafter, all the way up through middle school, high school, I went to college. I did take music in college because I wanted to be knowledgeable about music. I wanted to learn about every facet.
Okay, so you was in it, like
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So what was you said you went to school. Where was the schooling at? You was in New York City, or you was?
No, I was upstate. I was upstate, and I went to a school where I was able to get a performing arts degree. And
Nice.
yeah, I went to a SUNY, and you know, I learned everything from my music theory, and you know,
Okay, so they had a strong program then.
Yeah,
You know, it's
yeah.
hard to get like good music programs, especially in these public school settings and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what was the first step as far as when did you realize you wanted to take it serious? Because I already know once you could hit patty notes, it's like
Yeah, but I was playing, so I was young, and I didn't know what I wanted, and I thought I wanted to be a photojournalist.
Oh, okay.
And there's that vein, that facet that I still kind of breathe life into.
I mean,
You know, because yeah, with
you
you know, with everything else I do with Urban Magazine and the bigger picture and all that fun stuff. But anyway, but no, when did I want to take it seriously? I was probably I was like 19, and I said, you know what, I got to stop messing around. Like, this is what I want. I got to stop it's like trying to put shoes on that don't fit.
You were trying other things.
I was trying other things, you know, and it didn't fit. It wasn't where my passion was.
That word right there is important.
Yeah.
You gotta have passion, and it makes whatever you're doing a lot more easier to do.
It does.
So before you came to this realization, though, are you doing shows? Are you recording? Or are you just
No, I was doing like different things for school, and then I was doing like different, you know what I mean? Like in the local area, I was doing open mics and blues jams, and you know what I mean? Yeah, I was doing things here and there, you know what I mean, to continue to grow my palette, so to speak, you know what I mean? And yeah, it was, you know, it just finally kicked me in my behind one day. Yeah.
Well, I noticed with your music, it's like you say, it's passionate, and you mentioned earlier about it helping you express yourself. Your music is very expressive.
Yes.
So at this point, when you said, "All right, man, this is it. I'm going in," are you writing your own stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because your stuff is very detailed. It's it's very detailed. Because you know R&B format, right? R&B format is like 4 bars.
Yeah.
You repeat it throughout the whole song.
Yeah.
The hook, you repeat the whole hook. I think you do some of that, but it's definitely, I want to say, lyrical. I know people don't use that term when it comes to R&B, but it's definitely lyrical.
Well, I always wanted to write. Like, I wanted to be a poet. Like, that's what I'm a poet.
You do a lot of like.
Yeah, I have a book, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, like, oh yes, absolutely. Because writing is very cathartic for me. I have to write. Just like I have to make music. I have to write. Like, if I don't write, I don't know, like I just start to feel messy inside, if that makes sense. It helps me kind of compartmentalize, and I'm able to, work through things,
Okay, so at 19, right? We're all still young, don't have as much experience. What are you writing about initially?
Well, I mean, even at 19, I've experienced a lot. I mean, honestly, I was just told twice in the past week, I really need to do a biography. Because, sometimes a person's face doesn't show exactly the things they've been through. You see what I'm saying? So,
I hear that.
So that's what, I'm not going to go into. I don't want to ruin the biography. I don't want to ruin the biography. But yeah, I do. I want to pen my own biography. I've really been taking it into deep consideration.
I mean, once they tap into the music, they'll get an idea.
Oh, it's there.
Oh,
that's just, you've only just touched the surface.
So they'll be ready for that. So are you hitting this through? Because I don't want to date you, and I don't want to date the town. But recording has become way more easier than it has been a long time ago. So when you started, are you already have the setups for studios? You know how to link? Or?
All right. Well, when I started, I went to school for performing arts, like I said, and then I got accepted into another school for audio production, right? And I wanted to learn the ins and outs so I can record myself.
Okay. A lot of people did that.
You know, and I had been to a couple studios and I didn't like the energy I was feeling. I felt, you know, there was a lot of pressure, you know, engineers, you know, the people in the room.
To make certain sound type of music?
No. We're talking about different kind of pressure that women get when we go into studios. You know, so I didn't feel comfortable with that, and I didn't like the fact that I didn't have control either. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to have more control. Like, you know, you're telling me, I don't know, it just was a funky environment sometimes for women. You know, it is. And it's gotten better, but it's still. So anyway, but aside from all that, I ended up getting a Mac. I said, I'm going to teach myself. And that's what I did. You know, that's what I did. And that's where cuffing season comes from. You know, I recorded this in my house. You know what I mean?
The quality is great.
Thank you. Thank you. And every song thereafter, the last 4 singles I've dropped since cuffing season, I've actually not just engineered, I've mixed and mastered.
Okay.
So
there you have it. That definitely cuts out cuts out a lot of people. Listen, that's one of the most frustrating things. These mixes.
Well, you know what it is? It's the back and forth.
Back and forth.
It's the back and forth that, you know, you experience, like, oh, this is what I think. This is what I want to hear. Then they send it back to you and you're like, yeah, nah, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. You don't hear that?
Well, how about times when it sounds great, and then when you go back, like, what? And then you got to go back again.
Yep.
It definitely cuts a lot of corners, and a lot of people, that's a good thing, because many can't do that.
Yeah.
Don't you do your own, you do your own production as well?
I do. I'm still working on instrumentation.
Okay.
I'm still working on instrumentation. I play guitar, so you know what I mean. I'm still working on that. I haven't. That's a different kind of skill to be able to record an instrument. I'm still learning.
That's way different. I mean, it's tough because you're doing so many things. So, but you got the gist of the stuff that's very vital to you. So I don't want to skip over that. So you say you play guitar. You said.
I do.
And so did that come after you started singing, or were you already doing
that? You know when I wanted to learn how to play guitar? When NY R&B came out, I said, I want to play guitar. Acoustic soul. I said, yes, that's what I want to do. And I found out that she taught herself. She's self-taught. So I said, okay, I want to do that. And so slowly but surely, I kind of just, I tinkered around. It's kind of hard to teach yourself something. You got to really be dedicated. And then after a while, I just was like, you know what? I got to get it done. I want to be a real musician. I want to be a real artist. I got to play, so.
You read music as well?
I do.
Oh, shit.
I do.
Excuse me.
I do.
Yeah, now, see, well, then, you're taking it to the next level. Do you find that playing the guitar and reading music and writing music, it makes your artistry just incredibly easier?
I would say yes, I guess. Because I've been reading music a long time. Because I played the flute and then I played the guitar, and so it's kind of like for a while I've been studying music. So, yeah, I would think so. I would think that it would make it easier. Yeah.
So
it's freedom.
Is that like the school requirement? I feel like we all start with the flute.
Yeah. Hey. Everybody starts with a woodwind. Yeah, the recorder in like 2nd grade, 3rd grade. Yeah. I still got my flute. I got a jazz flute still.
Oh no, that's the next level. I had to record. I'm not even sitting here in front. No, that's dope because I didn't know. Like I said, well, let me say how I came across I'll say your brand. I won't say your music. I came across you on SLY Media.
Yes.
So I saw a few write-ups on you, and then I don't know. I saw. You know how the internet.
Shout out to Evie.
Shout out to Evie. She put me on as a writer as well, and I started looking for talent to put on there. real talent. So and then all the other writers do that as well. So once I think I saw you on there twice, and maybe somebody else, you know, is hard on the internet. I saw you somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
So then I started paying attention, and then
there's a lot of links out there.
You out here. You out here. And like
There's a lot of I'm outside. I'm in these internet streets. I tell you that.
So I'm just listening, and you post frequently. That's another thing I like. You post frequently.
Yes.
And you're not just ranting. I have to say this. I have to say that you're not just ranting. Like everyone, you know, your platform is for you to express yourself regardless. But one thing that kind of throws me off with artists, you gotta dig through their media.
Yeah, it's like it's cluttered.
Did you like? Why don't I know you're an artist instantly? I feel like I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I feel like if you're a serious artist, that should be known.
You know what it is? I feel like a lot of artists, aspiring artists, and amateurs, and you know what I mean?
Right.
Up and coming, they don't have enough people in their realm to help give them guidance. So they don't, some of these people, you know, the artists don't know.
They're not thinking that.
They're not thinking a business. They're thinking, I'm an artist. It's like, no. You're a business. You're a brand too. You know what I mean?